My fiancé said he would give up the child if he turned out to be gay. I'm breaking off the engagement. We first crossed paths in college and decided to postpone marriage until after graduation to prioritize our studies. Over the course of 4 years, our relationship blossomed. During his final semester of his master's program, he popped the question. He's currently pursuing a career in education, while I recently completed my bachelor's degree. However, as we gear up for his graduation celebration at his father's spacious backyard, I've noticed a side of him that gives me pause. The guest list for his graduation party includes many familiar faces from our wedding, but he made it clear that he didn't want to invite Jason and his parents. Jason, a friend who recently came out as gay, was welcomed at our wedding. This discrepancy prompted a conversation between us. He explained that the wedding was about us, and he was willing to compromise for our special day. However, when it came to his graduation, he viewed it as a personal achievement and felt no need to compromise because he did the hard work. I probed further, questioning his stance on supporting potential future children who might come out. He expressed tolerance for my sake, but admitted disagreement with the idea. He even went as far as saying he would distance himself from a gay child and leave the bulk of parenting responsibilities to me. Despite his past kindness and gentlemanly demeanor, his upbringing in a religious household seems to have left a lasting impression. Realizing that our values may not align, I'm grappling with how to communicate my doubts about our future together. Another heart-to-heart conversation seems inevitable, but I seek guidance on the best approach to broach this delicate topic. How can I effectively convey that I don't see a long-term future with him based on his beliefs? First update. Many people advise me to have a candid conversation with my fiancé in a neutral setting or at my parents' house about the issue that was a deal-breaker for me. While I couldn't bring myself to address it at my parents' place, I did manage to discuss it with them, and they supported my perspective. They were troubled by how easily he admitted that he would distance himself from a child who might be gay, and they felt it was fortunate that this revelation came to light before the wedding. Some friends also pointed out that I should have discussed the topic of LGBTQ issues and how he felt about potentially having gay children during the years we were dating. I acknowledge that I overlooked this crucial conversation, and moving forward, I will make sure to address such important topics early on in any relationship before becoming emotionally invested. Since I couldn't bring up the issue at my parents' home, we ended up having the discussion at a lunch spot we both liked. During our conversation, I expressed to him that I couldn't continue the relationship because of his firm stance on not accepting any child who might come out as gay. However, when I conveyed this to him, he didn't retract his statements and instead insisted that he was willing to compromise for my sake. He argued that being honest about his feelings was better than pretending to be accepting of coming out, but I stood firm in my decision to end things due to our differing beliefs. His reaction was not what I had hoped for. He initially seemed composed at the restaurant and continued with lunch without much further discussion. However, he later accused me of overreacting and couldn't believe that I wanted to break up over his willingness to compromise. Ultimately, the conversation did not go as smoothly as I had anticipated, and it highlighted the fundamental differences in our values that made a long-term future together seem unlikely. My parents have been supportive as I navigate canceling the wedding, but my ex-fiancé took to social media to express his feelings. A few days after our conversation, he posted a lengthy rant on Facebook, reiterating many of his previous statements. He claimed he wanted to share his perspective and emphasized that he had been honest about his willingness to compromise, contrasting it with what he perceived as couples who keep their issues hidden. He also touched on societal changes regarding gay rights, suggesting that the country was altering long-standing norms. He criticized what he viewed as an imposition of gay rights on everyone, and lamented the rise of cancel culture and movements like Me Too, which he believed catered excessively to sensitive individuals. Additionally, he expressed concerns about declining educational standards and stated his aspiration to become a teacher to address the shortage of quality educators. His post delved into topics such as Me Too and personal responsibility, which he had not previously discussed during our relationship. The sudden shift in his views, particularly around LGBTQ issues and social movements, was unexpected and somewhat alarming for me. Moving forward, I recognize the importance of addressing such crucial topics early on in any future relationships. In response to the advice I received, some individuals suggested reporting my ex-fiancé to the school where he works as a substitute teacher due to concerns about his potential impact on LGBTQ students. Following his online behavior, I'm inclined to agree with these suggestions. Despite facing backlash from individuals who supported his views and accused me of unjustly targeting him, I view this action as necessary to prevent harm to vulnerable individuals affected by his beliefs. I have documented his social media post and am contemplating the best approach to address this issue with the school administration, whether through an email, phone call, or potentially an in-person meeting. Throughout this process, I have leaned on my parents for support and guidance, and they have assisted in managing inquiries from concerned parties. This decision is not about canceling him, but rather safeguarding the well-being of those who may be negatively impacted by his attitudes. Second update. I took the time to read through many of the comments there, prompting me to address something important. To those who pointed out that I failed to recognize any signs of his homophobia earlier, you're absolutely right. I had simply assumed the best and never thought to question it. Moving forward, I will make sure to ask the tough questions at the beginning of future relationships, such as inquiring about political stances, as well as opinions on race and gender. This proactive approach should help prevent wasting time on individuals similar to my ex. My assumption stemmed from the fact that we have another friend who is trans and always got along well with him. Additionally, my ex had shown support by liking posts made by our trans friend when he came out a few years ago, and even liked a post shared during a Pride walk. However, I now understand that likes don't necessarily reflect true beliefs. Upon receiving advice from a helpful commenter via DM, I sent an email with an attachment of my ex's now deleted Facebook rant to various places, including the school where he was substituting before graduating, the school district, and the County Office of Education in our area. Additionally, I informed people I knew about the reasons for our breakup and showed them the post, which effectively conveyed my message. Prior to contacting the school, I ended the relationship with my ex and opted for a text message due to our living arrangements. I had my dad return the ring to his parents' home, where he handed it over to his mom with minimal interaction. Admittedly, I chose this method because I was too scared and felt like a coward, so I accepted their offer to deliver it on my behalf. In the text message to my ex, I explained that I couldn't marry him due to his homophobic comments and opinions. I also mentioned that my parents would return the ring, ensuring everything was documented in writing before blocking him post-sending. Since he didn't have any belongings at my place, his anger at how I handled the situation has been evident. I acknowledge that I avoided a face-to-face conversation out of fear, but his subsequent actions on Facebook have been challenging to deal with. He recently posted about the situation, mentioning how my dad returned the ring instead of me and not acknowledging his own actions. He claimed that he was upfront about being willing to compromise and accused me of ghosting him, essentially repeating the points he had previously deleted. I admit that I may have been cowardly in how I handled the breakup, but what surprised me was when his dad also took to Facebook to criticize me. He accused me of canceling him for sharing his opinion and claimed that communication in marriage is dead. In his post, he used hurtful language towards me, calling me names and blaming people like me for Trump's loss, citing a lack of morals. He even suggested that Trump needed to win again to combat cancel culture because his son was punished for his beliefs. It's worth noting that my ex wasn't religious despite his parents' strong Christian beliefs, but it seems like he may have vented to them about our situation. I want to emphasize that I am seeking legal advice regarding the situation, and my parents have helped me connect with a lawyer. My ex went as far as contacting my workplace and falsely claiming that I had inappropriate content on my computer, which is completely untrue. I'm not sure where he came up with this accusation. My dad believes this could be retaliation for the emails I sent to the school district regarding his homophobic post, but we're still investigating the matter. I was recently informed about the false accusation at work, and that is currently my main focus. Despite receiving hateful messages, I stand by my decision to report his behavior to the school. I appreciate the advice I've received and will consider getting involved in LGBTQ support initiatives once I have resolved the issues at my job. Third update. I had mentioned before that my previous post would be my final one, but this time I truly mean it. Before delving into the reasons for this decision, I want to reiterate my apology for not recognizing his homophobia sooner. I have received numerous messages in my DMs with people expressing their disbelief that I didn't notice it during our 4 years of dating. Although I thought I had addressed this in my last post, the continued influx of these messages prompts me to apologize once again. Moving forward, I have decided that in future relationships I will inquire about political and gender beliefs early on to avoid investing time in individuals who may harbor hateful views. The barrage of criticism has left me feeling worn out, despite some supportive comments that have been shared. The majority of the feedback I have received either chastises me for failing to see his true colors or accuses me of unjustly canceling him, aligning with the sentiments expressed by his father in his Facebook diatribe. Many have questioned why my ex never vocalized his homophobia when we watched the news or engaged in activities together. Additionally, I acknowledge that it was an oversight on my part not to discuss his potential reaction if our future children were to come out as LGBTQ+. This experience has taught me the importance of addressing such critical topics early on in a relationship. Furthermore, I must address why this post will indeed be my final one, beyond the overwhelming negativity in my DMs. My ex's father continues to post about me on Facebook, echoing the same sentiments of cancel culture and labeling me as a leftist, among other derogatory terms. The negative messages flooding my social media DMs mirror the hate I received on Reddit, and I hold him and his father responsible for inciting this vitriol. As mentioned previously, I had considered seeking legal counsel, and with the assistance of my parents, we have begun exploring this option due to the relentless actions of his father. His father went as far as sharing my social media profiles and home address in a Facebook post, leading to my decision to deactivate my Instagram account for safety reasons. He also threatened to cancel me back, prompting me to take further precautions. The escalation of the situation, including a threatening DM I received, pushed me to prioritize my safety and that of my family, hence the decision to involve a lawyer. While the threatening message was an isolated incident, it was enough to prompt us to take measures to ensure our well-being. This experience has underscored the importance of protecting ourselves in the face of unwarranted hostility. Amidst the negativity, I am grateful for the supportive messages I have received, which have provided some solace during this challenging time. New update. After ending my relationship with him and sharing my experience with the school, I never anticipated the challenging months that followed. The stress of the situation has prompted me to seek a release by expressing my feelings here. In my previous posts, I mentioned the distressing behavior of my ex's father on Facebook. His actions escalated when he shared my home address and social media profiles in a threatening post, vowing to cancel me back for breaking up with his son. This alarming development prompted me to consider seeking legal advice as a precautionary measure. In addition to the online harassment, I also made the decision to temporarily move back in with my parents for safety reasons. A disturbing incident occurred where my car tires were slashed in front of my home during the night, although I cannot definitively link this act to the public sharing of my address. Despite filing a police report, no perpetrators were identified in connection to the vandalism. Furthermore, I alluded to receiving unspecified threats in my previous update, some of which were distressingly severe and caused me significant anxiety. While I suspect these threats may be linked to individuals associated with my ex or his father, the situation remains unresolved. The online backlash I faced following the dissemination of my personal information on Facebook led me to deactivate my social media accounts due to the influx of hateful messages branding me as woke and other derogatory terms. Moreover, my Reddit posts were discovered by several TikTok accounts that feature Reddit stories with video game content in the background. 3 of these videos gained substantial traction, attracting thousands of views and comments, with some expressing support for my ex. This renewed attention directed more traffic to my original Reddit post, resulting in another wave of both supportive and hateful direct messages for me to navigate through. While I acknowledge that many comments on these videos were positive and supportive, the negative responses have added to the overwhelming volume of messages I have had to contend with. Despite the challenges I have faced, I am grateful for the unwavering support I have received from some individuals during this tumultuous period. After sharing my story and experiencing a flood of responses, I wanted to provide an update on the situation. It was disheartening to see some comments supporting my ex, but it highlighted underlying issues of homophobia. Some remarks made light of Jason's coming out, while others justified my ex's actions of uninviting him. It's been overwhelming, which is why I returned here to vent. I anticipate more negative comments, but I stand by my decision. My ex had hidden his homophobic views well, as he had friends who came out and supported them, even joining pride marches. However, as many have pointed out, his true colors eventually surfaced. Regarding the disturbing accusations of child pornography made by my ex and his father, referred to as CP in previous comments for clarity, my parents and I have sought legal assistance. While I won't delve into specifics, we are taking this matter seriously and pursuing legal action. Any developments will be shared in future updates. The vandalism of my car tires and the threats I received took a toll on my mental well-being. But they also revealed certain truths. The hateful DMs highlighted the cruelty of some individuals who hide behind screens, saying things they would never dare to say in person. For safety reasons, I am currently staying with my parents, considering a potential move out of state. I deeply appreciate the supportive comments and messages that have provided solace amidst this chaos. They truly make a difference. I am also seeking support from a therapist, although progress has been slow due to the complexities of my mental health struggles that I prefer not to delve into. It has been a turbulent time, but I hope for some peace and resolution as time goes on. How do you like this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Let's get 1,000 subscribers on this channel. Love you.